So then, as I'm on the Black Mountain Facebook page, I started seeing that you guys that the town was very like it was like what Wednesday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, they started doing town meetings
Yep.
at the what is it at the fire station or the common there or whatever, the
Yep.
center of town.
Yep.
And I started following those. They had done live streams, and then it was on the Facebook page, the meetings, and I started following that, and that was really helpful to me
Mhm.
because then I kind of knew what you guys needed, what you guys, you know, that you guys have access to all this stuff now.
Mhm.
Like they announced that Starlink got installed at Tractor Supply, I believe it was, in
Mhm.
Black
Yep.
Mountain.
Yep.
So that gave you guys a little bit more service.
Mhm.
So I was really following that page a lot, and that was really useful. So I was trying to relay messages or relay the information back to you guys,
Mhm.
but unfortunately, you guys still had very, very sketchy, cell service.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't go on Facebook, you
No.
couldn't open anything, you couldn't watch the news, you guys didn't have any cable.
Right.
I don't think you still have cable, do you? Or can you watch TV now, or
We have Wi-Fi. I almost don't even want to say it right. I'm knocking on wood as I'm saying it. Um, so we currently have had Wi-Fi in our home for the past, is it 3 days solidly
3 days
Oh,
now?
solid. Yep.
Three
There is,
days solidly.
it
Yep.
came back for a day and then it went back out for another 4 days. So it wasn't until, yeah, late Thursday, the, I don't know, whatever that is, the
10th.
10th or ninth,
Yep. Yep.
that internet started to come back and it's been on since then. So that's why we're actually doing this recording now because we weren't sure how reliable the internet was going to be. It would
Right.
just all of a sudden,
yeah.
boom, it would go out. Even cell service actually, it was 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, that cell
Yep.
service actually finally came back. And even every now and then it was dropping down to SOS mode.
Yep.
So it
Yeah.
still was a solid 2 weeks plus before getting some sort of reliable cell
Yeah,
service.
I know it was, we were able to, message each other back, not
Yep.
on Facebook either, on the phones,
Yep.
and, one day, Mandy, Drew's cousin Mandy called me and said, I was just able to FaceTime with, Marcus and Desiree. They headed out, they were trying to get to Greenville,
Yep.
to see if they could find supplies.
Mhm.
And, that was, I believe, Tuesday.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep. I think so. Yep.
And, so I jumped right on and I was able to FaceTime with Desi and Marcus. They were in their car, and I was so happy to see one of you guys because we didn't get to FaceTime any of us, with you guys, and I know we knew that you guys were safe and everything, but the messages were not good enough for me. I needed more. I needed to see a freaking face, okay? So I was so excited. I talked to Des and Marcus until they lost service, um, for God, 20 minutes. It
Mhm.
was great. We got to really talk to them. I was able to give them a ton of information
Mhm.
on what I was doing and what they were doing. And actually, this was before the airdrop.
Mhm.
And so that night, I can tell you right where I was sitting. I was sitting on my couch watching TV, minding my own business. It was like 8 o'clock at night,
Mhm.
and my phone rang, and I answered it, and it was Amanda's face. I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
And I had no words. It was the first time I saw your face since the storm. And oh my god, I was just I couldn't even talk. It
Yeah.
was um it was the most beautiful thing I ever seen on my phone. And then I see Drew trying to peek his head in. And you guys were up at Desi's house, Desi and Marcus's. Um, so the service still sucked.
Mhm.
And I heard Ariana in the background, and I was just like, "Oh my god, there she is." And it was like a 30-second, 45-second
Yep.
confirmation or conversation.
Yeah.
And it was, I needed that so much.
Mm. So
You
did
have
I.
no idea how much I needed to see your face.
Mm. I know. And I almost felt bad. So at after
Oh.
when Desi came back and she told me that she was able to FaceTime with you, and I was like, and so that's why we went up to. I was like on your phone because her phone was steadily getting
Yeah.
service. I felt so bad. With the second that I saw your face, we both just and we didn't have that long for a connection. We both just bawled so much and said that we loved each other so much. Every single person around us started crying watching it. And that was the instant when I realized, like, I had felt it and realized it before, but I felt so much freaking guilt for the anxiety that you guys were experiencing up in New Hampshire, not being able to communicate with us. I was like, my God. For as bad as we were feeling down here, it was like a flood wave of like emotion because I knew how you were feeling. I knew how I was feeling at that moment. And I also started, feeling a lot of the emotions from everyone else up in New Hampshire too that was really worried about us. Some of my other family too. So,
Yeah. It's so it's I guess you cannot comprehend my end of the anxiety and worry
right.
until you go through something like this.
Hmm.
I mean, you all are my family.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even that's not even an understatement. You guys are all my family. I have been friends with Drew's mother for 30 something years, best friends.
Hmm.
Drew's been a part of my life his whole entire life.
Hmm.
Um, and then you guys, you and Aubriana is just like your family
Hmm.
to me. And um, until you go through something like this, you really can't comprehend how you can feel so much anxiety and worry and concern I will say it again, I'll say it over and again. The not knowing was the worst,
Yep.
the worst.
Mhm.
And I mean, I've never had family or anybody go through such a devastating storm like this before.
Right.
And just the not knowing, and it was until you are sitting in this position, you cannot even comprehend what someone is going through.
Mhm.
I know I kind of felt bad that, oh my God, why am I so freaking being emotional and feeling so much anxiety? I'm not going through 1% of what you guys are going through. I guess I wish I could help more. I wish I could take that away from you guys.
Mhm.
Um, and it's just it bothers me a lot because you guys have been handed so many bad cards in your deck over the past few years. And then to have this happen, it's just so unfair. It's just so unfair that you guys have to go through this shit. And I know, um, like Amanda, you're super strong. You are
Thank
probably one of the strongest women I've ever met. And
you.
I knew I didn't have to worry about Drew or Aubriana because they had you.
Thank you, Jane.
You were going to be the one that was going to make sure everybody was okay. But I was worried about you because you forget to take care of you sometimes. And I think almost every single one of my messages was to you, you need to take care of you.
Right.
And I know that, you guys immediately wanted to go out into the community and start helping. I was not shocked about any of that at all.
Yeah.
Um, but I wanted you to still make sure that you took care of you so you could go out and help people.
Hmm. Yeah. Thank you. You know me all so well. That is definitely one of the things that I made sure, and I sort of had a little like quiet like pep talk with myself. Um quiet little pep talk with myself, and I was like, this is a really great lesson in learning, boundaries and what you can and can't do. So yeah, you're right. The second that we went to the first town meeting that me, Drew, and Aubriana, that we all went to, Aubriana saw the athletic trainer for the high school, and they just hugged and cried forever. It was great. Um, for them to see each other and for them to know that each other was okay. And in that next breath, Aubriana found out that Grassroots Medical Clinic was starting up. So we both attended the next day. While she was on the physical medical side, I was on the mental health side, because besides being, a Reiki master, trauma certified, I have a lot of psychology certifications, life coaching, all sorts of things. So I knew I definitely wanted to help. And what the place where I have been helping is with the fire department, the first responders, the EMT police department. I actually am set up right in our local police department. So when I realized that I was going to be in there and sort of giving mini sessions and, spreading my products around, trying to help people with all their pain and all that stuff, I very quickly realized with how heavy and how traumatic everybody's experiences were, that I had to be super careful with myself. I can't work every day. I have to at least take 1 or 2 days off in between, because otherwise my body will shut down. So I have been very strict with myself, and while I'm not physically super like 100%, I'm balancing it. I've listened. You
I
got
hope so.
you got through, Jane.
What were um now I do want to remind everybody this is the longest conversation I have had with Drew and Amanda in a week, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
So a lot of this stuff I'm hearing for the first time also.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm gonna have some questions.
Of course.
What were some of the um now I'll back up a little bit. Did you help with some of the rescues uh or was it just mental health?
Me personally, I didn't help with any of the rescues. Like, you're hearing about the people actually going out and doing well checks and
Well
things like
checks.
that. And
Yeah.
and yeah, so the way that they're really trying to organize it within the community, which I think is extremely smart, is at least when going out to do well checks, they're making sure that there is like a registered nurse, an LPN or an EMT, or like a
Wow.
doctor with the other person that's actually that they're teaming up, just for safety, for logic. Unfortunately, some of the well checks are turning into recovery, not rescue.
Yeah.
So
That's
so
what I've
yeah.
been hearing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I personally haven't been a part of any of those rescues or recoveries.
So you've been people have just been coming in and talking.
Yeah.
about
talking.
their experiences.
Yeah, I've had a lot of
Can you talk about, some of their experiences and
it's
what they're
still
actually going through? Because I think it's really important that people, um, understand and know what these people are going through after such a devastating storm.
yeah.
That it's not just about receiving resources, water, food,
Mhm.
and clothes and finding a place to live, that it's
Mhm.
a lot of, mental health.
Yep. I've only really heard about, like one story like firsthand. A lot of the conversations that I'm trying to keep it very, very light and just
Yeah.
getting people talking because it's still all they're still all going through it. It's still all very raw. And sometimes to just sit down and have a conversation with someone that helps because it just helps some sort of normalcy. It helps your, brain waves start firing in a more normal pattern. A lot of people are extremely desensitized based off of what they've seen and what they're experiencing. Um, One specific story that I heard was uh, EMTs and rescue workers having to make choices.
Yeah.
And those choices being, do I save this group of 10 people or do I save this family of 3 with a small child? And in those types of situations, there obviously is no right answer. There's an answer according to their training, right? But
Yeah.
there's no right answer. Like, I don't think it's going to take a while for pieces like that, for like guilt pieces like that, to be able to be gone with a lot of these people. And so, because the conversations are still very surface and it's really just a matter of, getting them talking and getting their brains to sort of, like I said, just come back to normal a little bit and fire in a more normal way, I guess you can say. I've actually been giving mini Reiki sessions.
Oh, okay.
And so another one of the reasons too, I definitely have to make sure and take time off because of the, like I said, the amount of trauma that
Mhm.
these people have gone through is just
How have they been receiving it? Have they been, very accepting of that?
very,
Really?
I think in the total of, oh God, I've probably given probably like 80 sessions, 80 mini sessions
Wow.
so far.
Wow.
And I think only one of those people had ever actually heard of Reiki before encountering me. So
Wow.
every single one of them was it. But the way I explained it to him was this: listen, I know you probably popped back down here because you wanted a massage or you saw acupuncture was back here or something like that. So I'm not a licensed massage therapist, but I'm a Reiki master. And I just explained to them, I'm like, it's just like a massage, only I don't manipulate, tissue because I'm not a licensed massage therapist. But at the very least, you get to, take a 15, 20-minute break and just relax. I was like, it's great
Relax.
for stress and anxiety reduction and pain. So my pain oil that I make through my practice is flying around that fire department.
Is it?
Yeah, they're all extremely open, extremely thankful. And that's one thing that I'm noticing too. Even though they don't understand it or they don't get it, I've been called magical. I've also been told that I have hands of God, which is, I mean, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Thank you so much for that compliment. But they're just so thankful that and it's not just me. There's a big collective of holistic people that are actually, we have a schedule and we're all sort of signing up for it and stuff like that. We're just trying to offer support wherever we can. They're so, so, so thankful that we're just trying to do whatever we can to help them, free of charge. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Can you explain a little bit more of what, um, Aubriana's doing?
Hmm. Oh, the girl won't take a day off.
No, let's
Oh,
remind everybody she's 4
15.
she's 15.
Yep. My 15-year-old. So, Aubriana, she's sort of like the right hand of the athletic trainer that I was telling you about, whether it's the athletic trainer that she's super close with from the high school or the one that she has met from Owen Middle School too. She knows both of them, and she's meeting all these amazing doctors and nurses and stuff like that, all involved with the community through what she's doing. So the grassroots medical, what they figured was we have broken down infrastructure right here. We do have one emergency mission in Asheville is up and running. However, in this sort of environment, or like going to the emergency room is for like heart attacks, strokes, extremely broken limbs. You know what I mean? Like you would normally be taken by ambulance, right? So they understood that people need a free place to go where they don't have to worry about costs. They don't have to worry about insurance. They can be seen by real practitioners, real people that can help them. And it formed, and there were so many people so quickly in Black Mountain. What they started doing was they started sending out satellites of people. So one exists in Swannanoa now, and then one exists up in Burnsville. And so that's what they ended up forming with the medical clinic. And so what she's specifically doing, because of her age, of course, she's limited, which annoys her because because I mean, there's still liabilities involved. She's doing a lot of organization for them, a lot of lugging of supplies as people are doing in donations, organizing of that, checking people in. She is helping be an extra set of hands. Again, she has to be super careful with how hands-on she actually is because of her age, but like right there, cutting things or like grabbing supplies as she had an experience where she actually had to help hold an artery because somebody got cut really bad. And so,
oh my God.
yeah, so it was, she's seeing a ton. She's getting a ton of experience. Like I said, she's been there every single day since it popped up, whether it's in Black Mountain or whether it was in Swannanoa. She was in Swannanoa this weekend. And coincidentally, extracurricular activities and sports are trying to come back as of today. So not only is she working the clinic, but then she will be with the athletic trainers working the practices in the games, making sure that her fellow classmates are okay. And if they get injured, then she can help with that. So being part of the sports medical, supporting the sports medical team, sometimes there's triage. Sometimes it's a really bad injury, and sometimes it's they need a wrapping. Oh, they need a splint. Oh, they need this, that. Cramping's a big thing on the football team, getting them mustard and things like that. So she's learning a ton. And honestly, through this experience, I really don't have any doubt that she's possibly going to go into the military as a medic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is some of her friends volunteering with that too, or do you know?
Not that many. Not that many that I've heard of. I know that she's seen a couple of her friends volunteering with some of the churches. And then I know that some of the members of the football team, they were just sort of doing grassroots things like helping their community and neighbors with like cleanup or however they could. If they had four-wheelers, delivering supplies.
So the kids are pretty much getting involved with the community with volunteering too.
Yes, it is. It is so amazing to see the kids her age, a few years younger, a few years older. This is an amazing community, and the kids, and I feel bad even calling them kids because the teenagers, I should say, the teenagers, the preteens, they're super, super involved with all of the volunteer unloading supplies, organizing, getting supplies out to people. They're really involved, which is great to see.
Yeah. Now, I was never updated. Is there damage to the school?
Yeah.
How's the high school, middle school, high school?
I don't know personally about the middle school. I don't know about the condition of the middle school. But as far as I know, damage to the actual high school, I don't believe that there was really any sort of damage to the high school. I know that they had teams going in to make sure that no smaller water damage had occurred, and check for like mold starting to grow and that sort of thing. But the road to the high school was taken out.
Okay.
It has since been rebuilt enough so it's passable via one lane. Yep. And this is just the update on her high school. So Charles D. Owen High. Which is right over in just to give a context to people that aren't from the area. Technically it's in Black Mountain, but it's kind of confusing that it's in Black Mountain because it should be in Swannanoa because of the way the town lines run.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It feels like it should be in Swannanoa. Because every other place around it is Swannanoa.
Yeah.
So for that school, and while there is school of choice down here, but for that school, it is Swannanoa, Black Mountain, Old Fort, Montreat that goes to that high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know they mentioned that they wanted to start school back up, but they can't with no water. So they were waiting for water.
Yeah. Yeah, they were attempting to try and figure out some sort of workarounds, right? Portable bathrooms and then the sort of like shipping in food. But logistically, I'm not sure if they're going to go any further with that. Logistically, I think it might be a nightmare for them. However, it also is a decently small school. So she only has about, well, before this occurred, she had 690 students in her high school, so 9th through 12th. So it's a pretty small high school. I don't know how many that have like relocated because of their homes. I don't know how many are going to actually come back. So the landscape of the school may look a little different too.
I think the landscaping of everything is going to look a little different.
Yeah. Figuratively and literally speaking.